Yes, it is, but not for everyone. And here's why. The first thing to consider is, what are you making? If podcasts, interviews, or talking head content, Descript is the simplest and fastest tool I'm aware of for that. That is where it shines. But if you're making something cinematic where you need fancier, more artistic transitions and animations and motion graphics, Descript isn't going to cut it. It's super limited on that type of thing. And that's all I have to say on that point. The second thing to look at when you're talking about value is, what do you get with Descript? And the answer is, you get a lot of things. Descript has replaced probably 10 other softwares for me and combined it all into one tool. So that gives me simplicity in my workflow. But it also means Descript is a jack of all trades, master of none. And one example of this is Descript's video sharing functionality. When you publish a video to Descript's web link, which, if you don't know, if you haven't used it before, is a function that allows you to generate a URL so that you can share your video with other people. That functionality has replaced Loom and even Frame.io for me. But the problem is, it's not as fully featured as those other solutions. With Frame, you can leave feedback at very specific frames in the video and even annotate on the video itself. You can leave circles and things like that. With Descript, you can leave comments at certain timestamps and respond to those comments or mark them resolved, but that's about it. So if you're doing professional client work where you need that highest level of granularity, Descript isn't going to cut it. And I could go on for all of Descript's functionality. Studio sound, amazing, but there's better tools out there where you get a lot more control and ultimately better results. AI voices, amazing, but there's other services that are better. So you get the idea. Descript is 80% as good in most categories as any dedicated solution. But for me, it's worth it to have it all in one simple package. The third thing to look at is, of course, cost. Descript has a free tier, but if you want to really take advantage of its features, you pretty much have to be on the Creator or Pro plan. So the Pro plan for an annual subscription is $288 US or $30 per month if you pay monthly. And to compare that to the biggest player in the space, Premiere Pro, which is about $263 per year or about $23 per month. But it's not really an apples to apples comparison, because most people in the Adobe ecosystem get the Creative Suite, which is about $60 per month. Or if you want to look at the other major player in the space, Final Cut Pro, that's a flat one-time $300. And of course, there's 100 other video editing softwares on the market, and I don't possibly have time to go into all of them. So what I'd tell you to consider is the second order effects of choosing a particular software. And what I mean by second order effects is, what else do you need for your particular workflow in order to put out the quality of content that you want? And this goes back to my second point, that Descript is a bundle of everything. So you could go with Final Cut Pro, but then maybe you need a Shutterstock subscription to get all the stock content that you want, whereas that comes included with Descript. So when you're considering cost, consider not only the software itself, but the other supporting tools that you will need to purchase with it. And the fourth and final point is simply personal preference. I teach people Descript for a living, and I have a folder full of screenshots of complaints people have about the software and the company. Mostly they're complaints about how things are changing all the time, which I view as a strength, because Descript is always updating and getting better, which means that the value that I get as a subscriber of this tool is constantly increasing. But if you value stability and you want something that's going to be pretty much unchanged for 2 or 3 years into the future, you're not going to like Descript. But if you like to be on the cutting edge and have, for example, the latest AI features, Descript is great. So without going too deep on any of those points, those are my thoughts on, is Descript worth it in 2024? I tried to be as objective as possible, but I obviously love Descript. This is what I do. And if you want to book a Descript tutoring session with me, I work with a few students every single day, and you can go to descriptmastery.com to learn more. I hope to see you there.